Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Haloyim Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harachak Wadash. Halak Ath Awathia Yahweh, Halak Ath Awathia Yahweh Shai. That's walk with me, Yahweh, walk with me, Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls God, and whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well and are worthy of their double honors. Peace and blessing to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last 6 of time. Shabbat Shalom. All right, and I just wanted to get into this lesson through the Spirit. It's going to be entitled, Hoping for a Miracle, It Will Happen. Hoping for a miracle, it will happen. And I was reading Exodus, the 14th chapter, just going into the instructions that the Lord gave unto Moses to relate unto the people of Israel that ultimately led up unto the Lord performing a miracle, parting the Red Sea, and delivering the children of Israel out of the hands of Pharaoh and the Egyptians. So I just want to read through this, get a couple precepts, Lord willing, to be edifying. This is Exodus 14:1. And the Lord, Yahweh, spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel that they turn and encamp before Pithahiroth, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal-Zephon, before shall ye encamp by the sea. So the Lord gave instructions to Moses, all right, to order unto the Israelites, all right, to go back and camp, because by like it says, by Pihahiroth, all right, between Migdol and the sea, because the Lord was about to perform a miracle, okay? And that's likened unto right now. We're crying unto the Lord. The Lord is giving us instructions to ultimately put us in position to have a miracle performed on us, which is going to be delivering us from out of the hands of modern-day Pharaoh, modern-day Egyptians, out of America and across the four corners where the elect are scattered. All right? Verse 3, For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land, the wilderness has shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them. I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his host, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord, and they did so. Right, so Pharaoh, in his mind, he was thinking that he would have the Israelites confused, all right, by them doing ultimately the Lord's will, but he was going to be bewildered. Pharaoh and his men will be confused in the end, because they will be drowned, all right, in the Red Sea. And the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart ultimately to make a statement, okay, to proclaim and ultimately set up that standard that Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai and his name shall be feared. This is Romans 9:17. For the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout the whole earth. So the Lord raised Pharaoh up, just as he did in ancient Egypt, just as he's doing now, all right, to show the Lord's power in thee, because we know that these world leaders, these international banking families, all right, these presidents, these vice presidents, these political figures, they're all being controlled by the Most High. Proverbs 21:1, the king's heart, which is your mind, the king's mind is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Lord controls the minds of these kings. And the Lord just so happened in this account to be controlling the mind of Pharaoh, all right, to making him do his will so the Lord could perform a miracle. All right, so if you're hoping for a miracle, it will come. When all odds are against us, when our backs are against the wall, the Lord will deliver us. Verse 5, and it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us? And he made ready his chariot and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots, and all the chariots of Egypt, and captains over every one of them. So he took his whole arsenal, his whole army, the best of the best, all of his top commanders to pursue us. But look what's going to happen. Verse 8, and the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with an high hand. So ultimately, the Lord he's going to put the spirit on these different political leaders, these different kings of the earth, all right, to go with their move, so to speak, to pursue us, all right, to chase us, to chase after us, to seek our lives, to seek our possessions, all right, to separate us from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. But that's ultimately going to lead up to the Lord performing the greatest miracle that we've ever seen, that has ever been recorded in the existence of time, okay? And a part of that miracle is going to be performed here in America, because this is where the bulk of you so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes are held captive. As it tells you in Baruch chapter 4, verse 8, it says, Salakia. No, it's in Baruch 3 and 8, Salakiakim. Baruch 3 and 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, for thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. That's right, man. So we're here in our captivity, scattered for a reproach and a curse. We're not called by our biblical names. We're called by these bywords: Native Americans, Latinos, Negroes, niggas, wetbacks, Puerto Ricans, Spanish. All those names are not biblicals. But all those names, they are put upon us for a curse. And it's safe to say we've learned a mighty lesson in this captivity, man. Okay, it says, hear Israel, the commandments of life, give ear to understand wisdom. You see? How happened it, Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land, that thou art waxing old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead, that thou art counted with them that go down into the grave. You see? So that's our people. Back in Exodus chapter 14, verse 9, but the Egyptians pursued after them all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea beside Behath-Hiroth, before Baal-Zephon. And when the Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were so afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord. And that's one of the main points I wanted to get into this lesson, because our people cried out unto the Lord. They saw these Egyptians getting closer. They panicked. But what was the solution of them panic? They cried out to the Lord. They asked the Lord to help us. Deliver us, Lord. Look upon our situation. Consider these things. Consider that we're already in the hands of our enemies, waxing old in a strange country, and now our enemies pursue us and seek our lives. So we cried out unto the Lord, and this is going to happen here in America, across the four corners. The Lord's people are going to cry out, and the Lord is going to answer. Verse 11, and they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt with us to carry us forth out of Egypt? So they basically asked Moses, why have you done this to us? Because Moses, he had a vision that the Lord gave unto him, that the Lord was going to do as he said he would do, that he would deliver the children of Israel out of the hands of the Egyptians. And Moses believed. So some of the people that were asking, well, you brought us here, but we don't see anything happening yet. We could have stayed in Egypt for all this. But watch the miracle. Verse 12, Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. So they were even telling Moses this in Egypt. Let us serve the Egyptians. But Moses was a man of the Lord, and he believed, he had faith. He had faith that even through our backs being against the wall, the odds being against us, that the Lord will come through on his promise. And the Lord did. Verse 13, and Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. You see? So Moses says, stand still, be calm. All right, the Lord is going to deliver us. The Lord is going to make good on his promise. And that's ultimately what's going to happen. The Lord is going to deliver us. He's going to make good on his promise. And ultimately, he's going to perform that miracle. Verse 14, the Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. And the Lord said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward. But lift thou up thy rod, and stretch out thine hand over the sea, and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground throughout the midst of the sea. And I, behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. And I will get me honor upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, upon his chariots and upon his horsemen. Now I'm going to jump down, all right, because we're going to get to the miracle that the Lord performed. All right. I'm going to jump down to 24. It says, and it came to pass that in the morning watch the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians, and took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians. So the Lord put the spirit on them to know that the Lord was for the Israelites, to know that he was on our side. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots and upon their horsemen. Let's jump down some more. Okay, we're going to read straight through. Verse 27, and Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared. And the Egyptians fled against it, and the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. You see? So the Lord performed a miracle, man. And it was a divine miracle that in that day, the Red Sea was parted and the Israelites will pass through it, man. And then it was closed again, and Pharaoh's horses, all right, and their riders were caught in the midst of that sea. But now here you have it. It's going to be a sea of nuclear missiles, man. All right, and Pharaoh's horses and their riders are going to be caught in that sea again. Verse 28, and the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. Was that what Moses not said? Okay, because let's go back up. Because Moses said what? Moses said this to the people. Exodus 14 and 13. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. And it was fulfilled down here. All right. In verse 28, it says, and the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. All right. So not a single Egyptian survived. OK, it says, but the children of Israel walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. You see that miracle. But it started with them crying out to the Lord. All right. And even then, all right, they had hesitation, and Moses was there to confirm what the Lord said, man. And it happened like that. Okay? So you have to have faith. So if you're hoping for a miracle, it will come. The Lord will deliver. It says, thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. And Israel saw that great work. And here's the point of the lesson. Verse 31. And Israel saw that great work which the Lord Yahweh did upon the Egyptians. And the people feared the Lord and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. You see? Now I want to get that word miracle in the online etymology. It says miracle, a wondrous work of God. A wondrous work of God. It says marvelous event caused by God. To wonder at, marvel, be astonished, to regard, esteemed. It says wonderful, astonishing, amazing. Exodus 14:31. And Israel saw that great work, that great miracle, which the Lord did upon the Egyptians. And the people feared the Lord and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. All right. So they esteemed it. They regarded it. They wondered at it. All right. They figured it amazing, man. They believed the Lord. They feared the Lord and Moses, man. For having that faith in the Lord. So that's likened unto the elect, man. When we're hoping for that miracle, the Lord is going to deliver us, man. This is Sirach 43:30. I'm going to start at 28. It says, how shall we be able to magnify him? For he is great above all his works. The Lord is terrible and very great, and marvelous is his power. Verse 30. When ye glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as ye can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength. Like the Lord told Moses, stretch forth thine hand, put forth all your strength. Give everything to me. All right? And in that moment, the Lord is going to come through, man. It says, and when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength and be not weary, for ye can never go far enough. Who hath seen him that he might tell us, and who can magnify him as he is? There are yet hid greater things than these be. For we have seen but a few of his works. That's right. We have seen but a few of the Lord's miracles. All right. For the Lord had made all things, and to the godly had he given wisdom. That's right, man. So we've seen but a few of the Lord's wondrous works, and there's more yet to come. All right. So Lord willing, this message was edifying. I'm going to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Halakath Awathia, Yahweh, Halakath Awathia, Yahweh Shai. That's walk with me, Yahweh, walk with me, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to my apostles, my elders, Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well, my teachers. Peace and blessing to you, Akim, across the four corners. Till next time, Shalom.